we're just getting confirmation through that Colin McRae, the former World Rally champion, has been killed.
When rally legend Colin McRae died tragically in a helicopter crash in 2007, the motorsport world fell silent.
But it is known the aircraft came down just after 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon, with 4 passengers on board, all of whom were killed.
Fans grieved, rivals saluted his fearless spirit, and his legacy was sealed in time. But it wasn't until years later, when his private garage was unlocked, that the true depth of the man behind the myth began to unfold. What emerged wasn't merely a collection of rally cars and championship trophies. It was a time capsule. And what lay inside didn't just honor his memory, it stunned everyone, unveiling a side of McRae few had ever imagined. Let's take a look at what they found in Colin McRae's garage. The legend behind the garage. Long before anyone stepped inside Colin McRae's private garage, his legacy was etched into the gravel stages of rally history. Colin McRae wasn't just a rally driver. Known as the Flying Scotsman, he forged a reputation for fearless driving, breathtaking speed, and a flat-out approach that redefined what it meant to compete in the World Rally Championship. Over his career, McRae secured 25 WRC rally wins, and, in 1995, became the first Briton to claim the World Rally Championship title. But his appeal reached far beyond the rally roots. McRae represented something universal: daring, passion, and a refusal to accept limits. Fans didn't just cheer for him, they lived vicariously through him. Whether it was his audacious jumps, his flame-spitting Subaru Impreza, or his unshakable will to win, Colin McRae embodied the relentless spirit of motorsport adventure. Yet even the most devoted fans had no clue what secrets lay behind the doors of his private garage. A side of McRae that only emerged after his tragic death in a helicopter crash in 2007. The world mourned a driver who had inspired millions, from die-hard rally enthusiasts to kids who discovered his name through the legendary Colin McRae rally video games. Tributes poured in from every corner of the globe. Stages fell silent. Helmets and cars bore his name as a mark of respect. A giant had fallen, but his legacy refused to fade. What few realized, not even some of his closest teammates, was how meticulously McRae had documented his own journey. Hidden away in his garage were trophies, prototype helmets, signed rally plates, and one-off memorabilia that traced his evolution from a young Scottish talent to a global rally icon. He kept it private, sharing it only with his family and a handful of trusted friends. His public legend was already immense, but what they discovered in his garage after his death revealed a deeper story. A story of a man who lived life at full throttle and who left behind not just victories, but a legacy no one saw coming. What was found inside? When the doors to Colin McRae's private garage were finally opened after his tragic death, few knew what to expect. Family members and close friends approached the space with a quiet reverence mixed with lingering disbelief. For years, the garage had been a mystery, a place McRae guarded fiercely, even at the height of his fame. He wasn't one to brag, and when it came to his personal world, he preferred solitude. But as the overhead lights flickered on and the scent of old motor oil filled the air, what they found was far beyond a simple garage. It was a sanctuary, a living archive of the World Rally Champion's life and career. Inside sat rally cars he had driven into legend. The Ford Focus RS WRC, its aggressive lines and flared arches still bearing the dust of epic battles through the forests and mountains of the World Rally Championship. Nearby, his Citroën Xsara WRC stood poised and sharp, a reminder of McRae's relentless drive and adaptability. Even in the twilight of his WRC days, he was still chasing the edge, still pushing every limit. Each car wasn't just placed, but almost enshrined, arranged with deliberate care, each one telling a chapter of McRae's story. Helmets bearing his iconic Scottish flag design were set on shelves next to racing suits, scuffed from unforgettable stages in Corsica and Finland. The walls displayed framed photos never released to the press. Shots of McRae laughing with co-drivers, studying pace notes, or hugging his family after a race. In one corner, a cluster of toy cars and miniature rally stages revealed a softer side. McRae's passion for sharing his love of racing with his son Johnny. There were early radio-controlled cars they had raced together, a testament to weekends spent playing, not competing. Elsewhere, a stack of worn notebooks rested on a workbench, McRae's personal pace notes, scribbled with shorthand symbols only he could truly understand. Each dog-eared page offered a glimpse into how he saw the world at 120 miles per hour along narrow forest tracks. A friend who stepped into the workshop after McRae's passing later recalled a moment years before when McRae quietly gestured to the space and said, "This is where it all makes sense." At the time, it sounded like a casual comment about tinkering with cars. But in hindsight, it was a rare admission of what this place meant. It was where he built his dreams, faced his fears, and found himself. When the full inventory was finally cataloged, it became clear this wasn't a simple collection of racing gear. It was a raw, authentic timeline of rallying's most fearless driver. A story told through battered panels, dirt-caked tires, and heartfelt keepsakes. More importantly, it was a deeply personal portrait of Colin McRae, one that no victory celebration or television tribute had ever managed to capture. Yet tucked away in one shadowed corner of that garage stood something far more extraordinary than anyone could have imagined. This wasn't just any car. It was a hidden gem, a machine that had roared through some of the most iconic rally stages in history. Before we uncover the secrets of this fascinating find, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It really helps us bring you more videos like this. Now, let's get straight to the car. The crown jewel. Among everything preserved from Colin McRae's storied rally career, one car drew immediate attention. A Subaru Impreza 555, unmistakably battered yet revered. To most, it was a purpose-built rally machine, all flared fenders and gold wheels. But to those who knew McRae, it was something deeper, a symbol of his raw talent and fearless spirit. The Impreza 555 wasn't just another rally car. It was an icon of 1990s motorsport. Aggressive, turbocharged, and clad in blue and yellow livery, it carried the hopes of the Subaru World Rally Team. For McRae, it was never about owning a pristine collector's item. It was about the bond forged through every hair-raising jump and gravel-spraying drift. He had made history behind the wheel of this car, becoming the youngest World Rally Champion in 1995, a moment that changed rallying forever. The 555 Impreza represented the era that defined him, when every stage start felt like stepping into battle and every finish line was a triumph against the odds. Unlike the modern rally cars with layers of electronics, this Impreza was raw and mechanical, built to be wrestled around corners rather than guided by sensors. It bore the scars of countless rallies, stone chips on the hood, cracked fiberglass on the bumper, and a cabin stripped to essentials, a testament to the grueling world it had conquered. Mechanics who later examined the vehicle were struck by how authentic it remained. The 2.0-liter turbocharged flat-4 engine still had its original internals, tuned for relentless power but never rebuilt for show. The interior was a time capsule of 1990s rallying. Worn Sparco bucket seats, a Momo steering wheel polished by McRae's gloved hands, and a scratched roll cage bearing witness to close calls and breathtaking saves. This Impreza wasn't tucked away in a museum or velvet-roped exhibit. It often appeared at Goodwood and other events, roaring to life for crowds of fans. Around it were photographs of McRae flying over finish jumps or sliding sideways through Welsh forests, reminders of a man who refused to lift. There were no plaques explaining its legend, it didn't need one. To anyone who'd followed McRae's career, the message was unmissable. This was where his legend was cemented, long before video games, endorsements, or tributes. It was about fearless commitment, the joy of driving at the ragged edge, and the unfiltered sound of a flat four at full boost. In a world where most champion drivers' cars ended up polished beyond recognition, the most emotionally powerful artifact of McRae's legacy was a machine still wearing the dust of 1,000 stages. That's why this Subaru Impreza 555 wasn't just part of his story, it was the heart of it. The one thing that quietly told the whole tale of a man who lived to go flat out. Colin McRae's legacy. Colin McRae wasn't just a rally driver, he was a force of nature. His legacy isn't confined to dusty trophies or archived race footage. It's alive in every corner taken too fast, every gravel stage where someone dares to push beyond reason, and in those 6 famous words, if in doubt, flat out. McRae changed rallying forever. He didn't just compete, he attacked stages with fearless aggression and unshakable grit. Fans loved him not because he was perfect, but because he was human. He crashed spectacularly, won heroically, and always drove like it was his last day on Earth. His influence reached far beyond rally tracks. The Colin McRae rally video games introduced millions to the sport, inspiring a new generation of fans and drivers alike. A pioneer who showed that pure passion could power a career. Today, McRae's spirit still roars through every Subaru with gold wheels, every jump taken without lifting. He proved that greatness isn't about playing it safe, it's about living flat out. And in doing so, he became more than a champion. He became a legend who never stopped driving, even after the final flag fell.